Fiona helped me accept that I'm amazing. And so my self worth has grown in leaps and bounds since that November phone call. And without any further interaction with Fiona, it's not some trickling of coaching that's happened. It's just radio silence since November. But in spite of that, things have evolved. It's like an onion, which layers are being peeled off, or layers added, if I may, in this case. And allowing myself to feel pride in myself. Um, is something unnatural to me. It doesn't come naturally to me. And so that November shifted something in me that now I've allowed to feel good about myself. Damn it. Hi, I'm Prajakta. I'm 39 years old. I have two kids, 6 years old and 2 years old, a husband. We are by ourselves in Australia. Our family is in the States and back in India as well. I left home when I was 20 years old, spent about 10 years in the United States, studied and worked there, did my master's in chemical engineering, and then met my husband online and moved to Australia. So left everything behind. I am an ambitious, career-driven, prove yourself kind of a person. That was my upbringing.
What sort of changes have happened since you're coaching with Fiona?
So I had my consultation in November and we are in February. And I am still seeing those changes unravel. And one day I just suddenly wake up and say, this is not how I thought last night. And today onwards, I'm thinking about this issue or this challenge very differently. Yeah, I enjoy my kids immensely. I can't wait to go pick them up from school or daycare. I love bathing them. I love cooking for them. I love reading to them. I love snuggling with them. And this is the kind of parenting I envisioned. And I'm glad I've gotten there. I'm glad that I've come to that stage where I can wholeheartedly love them without feeling insecure about my career or the time that I have to give them. That career thought is not nagging at the back of my head. And when I'm at work, then I'm 100% at work. I am more outspoken about what my value is at work. I am just more confident. And that's what I started appreciating. If they don't value me, then that's not a good fit for me. It's not upon me that I am inadequate. They are not a good fit for me. I'm going to look elsewhere. And just that confidence to keep looking elsewhere and not doubting myself is something that happened after that phone call. Whereas previously, I used to always wonder if I'm inadequate. I didn't get through that interview because I wasn't good enough. It's so calming to be able to accept that it's not me. I'm doing my best, both personally, at home, and at work. I am a pocket rocket. I am amazing at what I do. I just need to find the right fit at work. And I think that realization, that acceptance, that calm came up to talking to Fiona.
What were you experiencing before coaching with Fiona?
I struggled a lot with my firstborn, separating my identity from my work because my work was my identity for 10, 15 years. And suddenly my body was changing. Now that baby needed me 24/7. The social isolation that comes with no work, no friends, just baby. And so all of that hit me really hard. Everything was going downhill, basically. I was constantly angry, constantly disappointed, complaining. I wasn't really looking forward to picking up the kids from school or daycare because I was thinking in my head that evening is lost. All I'm going to do is bathe them, feed them, read a book to them. There was no joy left in raising my kids, unfortunately. There was no joy left in my marriage either. I wasn't really looking forward to waking up the next day. First, I felt lost. I felt angry, frustrated, depressed, suffered postnatal depression. And that's where I started realizing, I think this is not right. This is not how I want to feel about my children. This is not how I want to feel about my married life. I was trying to understand, who have I become? This is not who I used to be. Ambitions had gone out of the window. My personal worth was down in the pit. So that's when I reached out to Fiona. Sorry, I didn't know what else to do. I was looking for a life coach. I needed somebody who helps me enjoy my life so that I enjoy giving back. And that's where I knew I would start liking work as well. That's where I would be able to make a better choice with where I want to work, what I want to work as.
What made you choose Fiona?
Fiona just seemed so personable. The testimonials that I heard, the testimonials that I read, were all about how she helped people feel better about themselves. And Fiona explained it very well. The boundaries of her coaching offering, although it's transformational, it's fast paced, but at the same time, the effects keep trickling in.
What was key during your coaching with Fiona to disrupt your thinking patterns?
I think Fiona creating this space to let me be me during the call, let me express myself the way I was comfortable in, sometimes talking, sometimes crying, sometimes just sitting there, observing if there's pain in any part of my body, because our body usually carries physical pain of the trauma we have experienced. So Fiona letting me experience all of that, focusing on certain keywords that she believed that I agreed is where I want to head. And then she repeating those keywords while I was sitting in silence and focusing on the pain in my body, or focusing on the heaviness in my chest, and letting, breathing deeply, letting that wash away. Again, just thinking of letting those words seep in that Fiona was repeating. That, I think, helped her reset my subconscious. She giving me enough time to sit with those words, to sit with that emotion until my body felt better, until that pain and my body was washed away with my deep breaths, until I felt ready to move on to the next topic, until I agreed, until I accepted. I think that's what was instrumental in shifting my focus.
It's very interesting how listening to ourselves can help us find a true alignment, not just our mind it's speaking, but our body as well, and our feelings as well. So making a combination of everything that we can perceive within ourselves can help us find our truth. Has there been any breakthrough moment during your sessions?
I'm a very structured person, and obviously that wasn't working for me. So I allowed myself to try out an unstructured way. I didn't realize I could talk to a stranger for 3.5 hours, telling them my deepest insecurities, being so vulnerable in front of a stranger. She let me speak. She let me cry. She let me be myself with that subject. And then she made me close my eyes and she asked me to conclude that topic in a few words. For example, when I was talking about my kids, and that stayed with me quite strongly, she asked me to close my eyes once I had done expunging myself of everything I was feeling and everything I had to say. And then when I closed my eyes, she asked me, so tell me what kind of a mother you are. And being the goal-oriented person, the ambitious, the career-driven person, I used all the typical words like I'm a productive mother, I'm a responsible mother, I'm a risk-averse mother, and then but she kept asking me, so what kind of mother are you? And so it all boiled down to one simple answer, that I'm a good mother. And that's where I think I got a big release. I cried a lot at that one answer because I realized the beauty was in the simplicity. She said that word a few times. You are a good mother. You're a good mother. And I think that's what helped it seep into my subconscious. And since that day on, I've never doubted my quality of parenting.
How do you identify yourself now?
Now, having gone through that, I think I'm still Prajakta. My identity now is being helpful and being kind and coexisting with others on this earth. My identity is I love the outdoors. I love spending time in nature and teaching my children life skills. I love being responsible and independent at the same time. And I demand that from my husband and my kids as well. I was these three values when I was 5 years old. I am these three values as I turned 40. Somebody else at work asked me the same question when I started this role. And I used to introduce myself with my career accomplishments. I'm a chemical engineer. I've done this, I've done that, I've lived here, I've lived that. And whereas now I just tell them I love the outdoors. I've got 2 kids and my husband who I thoroughly enjoy. I'm in the health sector, public health sector. So I love helping the hospitals, maintaining those hospitals, improving those hospitals, which helped me have two beautiful kids safely. So I love giving back to the community, and that's who I am at the end of the day.
New identity means new perspective for the future. How are you seeing your future now?
After having two kids, I wasn't sure about my decision of having two kids. So, what was I going to do with them? How was I going to lead? Somewhere along the line, I was growing up. I started appreciating what else I want to do with my life. Do I want to offer a different perspective to my kids rather than you have to prove yourself to get my attention? After the call, Fiona assuring me and helping my subconscious accept the fact that I'm a good mother and that one word, good, encompasses all of this. I've just become a more hopeful and positive person. And with hope comes solution, problem solving. With hope comes solution offering. This is the knowledge, this is the wisdom that was always within me. I just didn't know how I was going to deliver it. I'm now on my local council's Environment and Climate Action Advisory Board. So it's an honorary position, and that is something I would have never dreamt of. My input is much valued over there. I see my input being translated into actions by the council, which is immensely rewarding. I see people taking me more seriously at work as well. So all of that kind of instills more hope and more promise and more confidence within me.
Fiona helps many people with imposter syndrome. And you?
Even at work, most of us suffer from imposter syndromes, especially women. I think I'm not good enough. I think I'm not going to get that next promotion. Or if I go look for a job, everything I told you in previous answers, that all gets undone, if I may. And then I start thinking of myself, well, I'm not good enough, and whatever I'm projecting at work is false. And they're going to soon realize that I'm just making all of this up. I'm going to screw the next interview. I'm not going to do well at my next job. And so I have to hold on to this job with my dear life, irrespective of how they treat me. But the fact that going down this sad path is not taking me anywhere. I've been down that path, it hasn't helped me. I remind myself, all I have to do is close the book, keep it back on the bookshelf. And then I ask myself, so what's next?
What would you say to someone who think coaching is not for them?
That's something we all wonder, right? Before giving the reins in somebody else's hands. Coaching is powerful, and I believe personally that there are experts in the field. They are experts because of the time and effort they've put into honing their skill. And rather than me spending time in trial and error and being dissatisfied and frustrated along the journey, if somebody is helping me accelerate that process, shrink it into a quarter, a month, a day, to help me just get a jump start over my healing process, why not? All I want to call out to anybody listening to this testimonial is don't be afraid to reach out for help. Especially counseling help, especially coaching help. And I'm so glad that I met Fiona. We crossed ways and I explained to her, that I don't seek one specific coaching over here. You've got a few offerings on your website. I don't know which one to choose. And Fiona, in all her wisdom, figured out how to help me.
For some people, coaching is a considerable investment. Was it worth it for you?
It was a big investment for me because I had stayed home for 2 years on single income. My husband was providing for the family while I was taking care of the baby. And by the same time, I realized if I don't fix the way I feel right now, I might never be able to do it. If I have to pay their dues for their expertise and their efforts in return, it's absolutely worth it. I know it's an affordability question for a lot of people. It was for me for sure. Fiona did offer me flexibility around how I could convince myself that I deserve it and how I could work with meeting monetarily those coaching requirements as well. It was me putting myself ahead of everything else in my life that I've been deprioritizing myself. I just had to allow to prioritize myself.
What would you like to say to Fiona if she was here?
I wish there's a better word in the English dictionary to say something more than thank you, because I believe you can offer what you're offering after appreciating your own experiences, which helps you relate to others' experiences. I'm really grateful for crossing paths with somebody like you who could meet me eye to eye, hold compassion to hear me out without judging me, without concluding upon me, without forcing my thoughts in a direction you thought was appropriate, letting me experience the body pain or experience the tachycardia, or experience the heavy breathing while recounting some traumatic experiences, allowing space and patience for me to overcome that at my own pace within that call, and checking with me thereafter. I think you did check in with me a week later to make sure I was doing all right, and trusting yourself as well, along with trusting your stakeholders. What you've offered is going to have a long lasting effect, and helping your stakeholders believe that this process is going to help them, because that belief itself carries us ahead after your call. We can't expect handholding all the time. And sometimes you just have to let go and trust everything we've learned and we know about ourselves, and walk our own path.